page. Second page is a lot smaller print, but we're going to go through it pretty quickly. The condition of the premises. So basically, you're giving them in good, livable condition. And an important notice here is you're saying it's free of bed bugs, insects, or vermin. So they didn't. You're letting them know that there wasn't any when they took it over. The use of the premises. This kind of outlines the broad. They're using it as a residential purposes. They're using it with the number of occupants, how many people are moving in. That's this blank right here. And they're also, this is where you're saying that they're not allowed to, mar the building, change the locks, dismantle things, fix things, add things, and damage it beyond normal, ordinary wear and tear. So that's what that clause is for. Number 3 is the one that is used quite a bit in warnings, and that's the quiet use and enjoyment, no interference. So they can't harass guests. They can't, neighbors. They can't harass landlords. They can't have loud or lewd or intimidating behavior or language. And the magic hours of quiet hours to keep quiet and use and enjoyment is the 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. time slot. So that means no vacuuming and no running the dishwasher, no loud music. It's just the courtesy hours. It's not hard and fast, but those are that spells out the kind of overall look at it. Number 4 is rules and laws. And this is kind of a benign little clause, but it has it carries a big stick. It says, I'll read this one. Tenants and all members of the tenant's household and guests shall comply with all municipal, county, state, and federal laws, and with all the rules and regulations now or hereafter promulgated by a landlord. So what does that mean? If marijuana is legal in Oregon, but is still, as of this recording, illegal as a federally, then federal law trumps state law, and a landlord could use this clause in their decision not to allow growth or use of any marijuana on their premises. So that's the kind of thing that little line conveys. The smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. Now, you made sure moving in that they were up to date and batteries were in there. And you're telling them that by law, one of those magic fees you can charge is $250 for tampering with a smoke detector. And if they did it again, you could actually, if that were a for-cause notice because they just couldn't keep them up, or they kept bringing them down for whatever reason. Obviously, you don't want to have any building at all that's not protected with carbon monoxide or smoke detectors per regulation. Humidity and moisture control. This is the one that starts with, that covers the scary word of mold. And you're telling them when they move in that there is no evidence of mold, and you're also telling them here that their responsibility to maintain proper ventilation and to prevent conditions that are conducive to mold growth. Number 7, an important one. When they took away all the chances for non-refundable fees, including carpet, the state allowed landlords this one caveat, that if you have the carpets professionally cleaned right before the tenants move in, then when they move out, you can charge them to clean them after they move out. So we use this because we just tell the tenants, look, don't bother cleaning the carpets. We're going to have them professionally cleaned anyway because they were right before you moved in. And if you do it, you're just going to be double charged. So that's what that's for. Pets. So this starts the pet discussion. They can't keep pets in or upon the premises of any common area without prior written permission. And there's pet agreements. And of course, there's a difference between pets and service or companion animals. So we'll get into that again later on. Prohibited items. Tenants are not permitted to have aquariums, waterbeds, pianos, or organs without the consent of the owner. So nowhere in that phrase does it say guns. I mean, we've had that question asked, but I don't know that it's even allowed to deny guns. I think the Second Amendment does apply there. Guest, subletting, and assignments. Now, this is subject to some of the new moratorium temporary conditions, but this basically says that that the tenant is responsible for any person or animal on their property. And but right here it says guests are not prohibited from staying in the rental no longer than 14 days in 1 year's period. However, the eviction moratorium has changed that, SB 282, and now the tenant can have guests for as long as they want during the tenancy, and they can have as many guests or extended occupants, temporary occupants, up until the time of the lease termination, or until a magic date, March 1st, 2022. So but the landlord can require a temporary occupancy agreement, and we'll come back to that when we get to that form. But look through this carefully. And then number 11, you're going to be letting them know that amenities, like if they have a hot tub and or there's apartment buildings that have condominiums that use laundry rooms or rec rooms, that these are offered as a privilege, and that privilege can be revoked without improper use.